Good evening, warm welcome everyone, welcome back. And we would like to share a few minutes of drill from Bapdada, words spoken in meditation, and before we start.
अभी एक सेकंड में एकदम देश से न्यारी पावरफुल आत्मक रूप में स्थित हो सकते हो। फुल स्टॉप। यही अभ्यास हर समय बीच बीच में करना चाहिए। अभी being. कार्य में आए, अभी अभी कार्य से न्यारे साकारी सो निराकारी स्थिति में स्थित हो जाए.
So it's very interesting to repeat this drill for a short period of time, and it reminded me of yesterday's homework, the idea of stopping for, I think, 30 times for 30 seconds. And even if we didn't manage the last 24 hours, maybe it's something we can experiment with for the next 24 hours. But there's a full stop, and something that lots of things from yesterday that were very helpful, and knowing that our resting state is ego. So that's why we need to come back again and again to this full stop. And I like this reflective question. Do I really see this world as a story? Like right now, there's Zoom in the story, and that we know with Zoom, we just press one button and the whole thing is kind of gone. And that's same with this story. And is that okay? And do we see this world with independence? And then from that free space, it is the yogi who is experiencing this world of actions. I do like this point that karma is going on in this field of action, field of karma. But is it the yogi mind that is experiencing it, or the Bhogi, which for those who weren't sure of the translation, translated as indulgent, so either yogi mind or mind who is taking mode. So if you have any thoughts or questions you want to share, it'd be lovely to hear. Meanwhile, welcoming everyone and handing over to Prashant.
Hello and good evening. And thank you. And so nice to start with the drishti, vision from Baba, and meeting Baba, and a beautiful emphasis on the awareness, soul consciousness. And it appears to be the first lesson, and many of us might think, of course, we know this. And Baba often says this is the essence. The game changes only when we are soul conscious. So let us create a few moments of coming in that awareness. And Sarah reminded 30 times during the rest of the evening, we said 30 times. And right now we are checking in the last hour Was there attention? If that attention is not there, then the resting state is very much in our ordinariness. We call it ego personality. And what happens in that ego personality? The physical world appears your world, and everything matters. Right now, we create the soul perspective. And in this, in 1 second, we underline this word jump. In 1 second, we are seeing the perspective of that invisible player. And this invisible player is speciality. He sees the entire physical world as a story and his independence from the story. That is all. He knows his roots are different, his world is different, but independent from the story. Sees the story for what it is. What happens, even as right now, as we are doing this, if this is a story, this moment, as it is, in a moment where there is technology, but you just look around, and if there are some furniture and people, whatever is around, all this is paraphernalia for this one scene. We are seeing the wonder of this world, including this body and everything around us. The invisible player is observing this. We said, one who is conscious, he knows he is beyond harm. Story cannot harm him. Story is harmless. And the moment anyone realizes that nothing can harm him, he comes in the divine personality. The secret for this is justice, that nothing can harm him, even the slightest. In this story, he knows beforehand the episodes come to an end, there is death and destruction, and there are dragons. He knows beforehand. But the invisible player knows that he is not harmed even the slightest. This is all. This is the uniqueness of this invisible player. In the moment he comes in that space, he finds fun. Every moment appears like a gift, and a little sound appears like a gift. And human beings and animals, they all are here to cheer him up. This is what he feels. During the seconds and minutes that he is conscious. So it appears he's detached, and we are emphasizing. We said highest consciousness is where there is maximum detachment. Higher the consciousness means there is more detachment. But this detachment actually helps him appreciate this world even better. The moment he is not conscious, the invisible player is not conscious, then ego is conscious. Even as we are practicing this, ego might take over even. And ego takes over only for the reason of indulgence. But his indulgence is limited indulgence. He is not seeing the wonder of this moment and wonder of this amazing theater and drama and variety of character. He's not seeing this. His indulgence is that my car is so good, or someone likes, my hat. And these are his little ideas, pettiness, and that is his indulgence. So when we use the word karma bhogi, it is not just he is indulging in some, ice cream, and that is the time he's karma bhogi. Ego is constantly karma bhogi. His thoughts are to indulge. He is aiming. He may be complaining because his others are not praising him enough, or others are not, giving him enough comfort to the ego. But his mission is to indulge. All the 10 heads of Ravan are karma bhogi. And we saw yesterday why. And we saw that they are, all these ego heads, they are hardwired to be in that panic. That insecurity. And so his mission is to survive, to get bigger in that confusion. So nice for us to just all come back to the overview of what we discussed yesterday, practiced yesterday. I'm going to read a short passage, what Baba said on karma yoga and karma bhogi. 2 questions. Which karma of the children become a memorial for all time? An answer: the karma you perform whilst being a yogi become a memorial. A karma yogi means every action is yoga yukt, yukti yukt, and shakti yukt. So yoga yukta, yukta word is used full with that meaning. So it is filled, complete with, more accurately, complete with yoga. Complete with yukti. Yukti is a word used for intelligent method, or broadly knowledge. So yukti is knowledgeful, and shakti yukt, full of powers. So this is the definition from Baba. Karma yogi is one who performs actions whilst in these stages. And there has to be yoga. Otherwise, everyone performs karma. Sometimes people think, to do things means they are karma yogi. Brahmin, whatever actions they are doing, they are karma yogi. But here the emphasis, there has to be yoga, but that during those minutes, there should be sense. That's why yukti, yukt, and shakti, power. Another question, what is the sign of a karma yogi? Such a soul will not be attracted by any type of action. The word used is attracted, and I will come to this. It is discussed in more detail. A yogi makes his senses function with the power of yoga. Those who move along whilst being subservient to karma are not karma yogis. They are forced to do certain action. They are not karma yogis. In the Gita, there is a mention: one person performs karma, but under the will of ego and the whip of lust. So, as if someone else is, he is not in charge. The whip of lust and the will of ego that is forcing him. There is just like there is a whip. The donkey cannot turn left just because it wants to. There's a whip. So if Ravan is sitting there with a whip, then he is not karma yogi, subservient. They are called karma bhogis. Those who are subservient to those are the ones who are subservient to consequences of karma. That is, those who are subservient to good or bad consequences of karma cannot be called yogis. The Rajyogi souls can never be subservient to karma or be in bondage of karma. So let me use the board and let us discuss this subject. What does this mean? Subservient to karma and bondage to karma. And feel free to type your comments, thoughts. And there is also encouragement to come in the camera. And those who want to like it more interactive. So here, let us see this, our form, our world that helps us. So there is this world of ours, and the traveler is passing through this world. And we saw the other image yesterday where there is the big world. All along, the reference is invisible player. He has to be conscious. An invisible player is passing through this world. This world is full of action. thriller. If you are watching a film, there's lots going on there in that world. And the soul that is conscious, he's aware of it. He knows the film, but film starts, film ends. Someone is performing one kind of action, someone is performing. He's observing it. He doesn't sit there and complain about why someone did this and why someone did not do this. He watches. It is more like he's watching it. He doesn't say, I did it. He doesn't put a claim, that I did such wonderful action. Then it becomes Bhogi. Just like one kind of Bhogi indulgence is with ice cream, and another person indulges in greed, my money, my money. Third person indulges in actions, especially certain cultures, like Western cultures. First thing they would like to tell you, this is what I achieved, this is what I did, this is me, mine. You look at my trophies, I got these prizes, I won the competition, I scored this much. They ask you also, oh, what do you do? What are your achievements? And what we are saying here is all of that is happening in a film. It is happening in a story according to the script. And this invisible player in confusion is claiming it. The only reason we are questioning this whole idea of, because it is ignorance. It is not him. It is happening in a story. And as he claims this, that ego gets bigger. And it becomes Bhogi. Bhogi ultimately feeds Ravan. All the Bhogi is for Ravan. So just like one head of Ravan, indulges in lust, just even thoughts of lust and life of lust, it feeds that head of Ravan. Another can be taking drugs. Third one indulges in, look at my children are so clever and so they got such grades, and me. That is another indulgence. And we said the truth about this one who is claiming these are my children, he is from this world. He is not from the film. He is invisible angel and temporarily associates watching this film, temporarily involved in this film. But he claims this is my, these are all mine, and creating that indulgence, ego. Another one creates ego based on actions. I got this medal and I scored this and I achieved this and I got these prizes and this is mine and this is built by me, and 20 years ago I did this. It is indulgence because there is a script going on. And then if the action changes, he cannot perform the action, that ego will feel inferior also. It is the ego that feels superior, ego feels inferior. Ego creates arrogance, ego loses self-respect. And then he wants to attend self-esteem course. And most of the system in psychology, they will tell you, no, don't worry, but you got such a wonderful thing here. You got such a wonderful hat, you got something else here, you got so much gold, be happy because of this. So they just shift the emphasis to another indulgence. Ravan remains. There is no structure anywhere to remove Ravan. So the karma, why this huge emphasis on karma teeth, karma yogi, because we got lots of indulgence here, it appears, not just karma. We are indulging in senses and we are indulging in other people like children, the different Ravan is indulging in so many things. Why the word karma gets underlined more? Why it is called karma yogi? Because it is subtle and we are constantly in action. And Ravan will indulge in anything, but something that is constant, he indulges more. The moment we are in the drama, karma is going on. And so he says, this is a good chance to indulge. You want to add anything, say anything?
I think this is very useful to see that indulgence is not this gross form of, as you mentioned before, ice cream, but claiming anything in a drama is like really crossing a line. I had a question, I guess, or a request for further reflection when we are reflecting on the associated character and the story around it. So we're saying that for this invisible traveler, it is not my story. That's what the invisible traveler will say. It's like it's got as much to do with the invisible traveler as Cinderella has for the actor. And this is huge. It's a huge thing. It gives a great feeling of absolute liberation. But I think it needs churning probably to make sure that it's really understood. But if you have anything you want to share on it.
Sure. I was going to read another short passage, another spiritual writing, and that will help us understand what the subject that you brought in. So here, what is the life of a yogi? That is, it is in that context. He is pure and independent of body's desire. How do you understand this? Independent of body's desire? Do you want to tell? What does that mean? Body needs some water and body needs, how can I be independent of body's desire? You can type.
To be in control of the senses.
Sure. Let me give an example. Let us say, yes, want to add anything more?
Desire is different than bodily needs. No attraction, being detached. Desires and needs are different.
Very good. You know what, you said it actually, but let me give an example. Let us say you are visiting a friend. You are staying with a friend. You are a guest for a couple of days. And this friend tells, do you mind to look after this plant when you are here? And plant needs certain drops of some potash, and it needs some water at a certain time. Sure, you are happy to do this. So you are happy to get those right drops and maybe manure and soil and water. But all along, you know that you don't need those drops. It is not your need. You don't need that manure, and you don't need that plant in the first place. But you are absolutely happy to do that duty whilst you are there. It is the need of that plant, but it's not your need. In the same way, the invisible player, if he's conscious, he knows that he doesn't need this story. A whole lot, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need the body, he doesn't need the part. Starting position is this. He is free, but very happy to find some food for this body and find some water and maybe a hat and be whatever involved. And if there's a part where Prashant needs a hat, very happy to go and buy a hat for that part. So he's involved, but all along he is aware. If the invisible player is conscious that he needs none of this and remains independent of the needs. If he is not conscious, if the invisible player is not conscious, he will indulge in the hat. He'll be getting the hat and he wants someone to praise the hat, and he will send photograph on the Facebook. That is definitely karma bhogi, I think. If it goes to the Facebook, then it is karma bhogi. You get an idea how you can cross the line just by different perspective altogether. It becomes me and mine, and so you take arrogance. You want people to make some comments on your head. So here, he's independent of body's desire. He's able to deal with the unexpected, prepared for everything, unperturbed by anything. Of course, if he understands that is a story going on, and story, there's one part they are associated, and suddenly King Kong comes and King Kong breaks things. That is the another part. Why should he be disturbed? And this can happen here, that some tornado, it can come in our town here, and that is the part. Invisible player is seeing it as another scene. I'm emphasizing this. If he's conscious, for him, this is absolutely another scene, and curious to see what happens next. And it might be everything finishes, and he's prepared for that. That's why prepared for anything, unperturbed by anything. He's neither vain nor anxious about the results of his action. He's dear to me, as if God saying, he's dear to me. So how do you understand this? That he is not anxious about the results of his actions. Then he is karma yogi. If he's anxious about the results of his actions, he's not karma yogi. So is it possible you are doing something, you are going to catch a train, you should be not worried about the results, getting the train, results of the action. If you are preparing something, you are doing it to get a result. If you are writing something, it is so that it reaches someone. If it doesn't reach someone, why are you writing it? So anyone want to tell me he is not anxious about the results of his action?
Would you mind clarifying the question?
Yeah, so what does this mean? Not uh, he's not disturbed by the results of his action.
It says no, but some expectations are there. Not affected by anything in the cardboard world. He's free. He's free from worrying.
Okay, it's results of the action. This is what I'm asking. So let me give an example. Say you are asked to prepare food, certain item of food, because there are 20 guests who are coming, and you are preparing the item of food for them, for their lunch. And just before lunch, someone drops it, and the whole food is spoiled. Will you have little anxiety? So what all are hungry, and they all are blaming you, and they all are saying, how terrible all this is. Why you invited? They all are. They say, but never again. I'm not going to come again. So, you shouldn't be having some concern about the results of the action. You prepared food. It is for someone to eat.
Yes. I don't know if this is relevant. One note, when I'm doing something, it's because of my role I'm representing and not because I expect it. Another comment, it's a funny drama we are part of.
Okay. So let me give an example. Let us say you are given a job in a film, James Bond film. You are given the part, and you are getting filmed. And you are given a job to work in the kitchen, and you are cutting things, and you got a right robe and right apron, and you are doing the things well. It is getting filmed, and you are getting paid. And you are preparing the food, and it's all sort of serious. You are acting. And James Bond has got a part. He comes in the kitchen, he kicks everything that you prepared. It all goes on the floor, and he gets his martini unstirred, jumps out of the window, gets in the helicopter. So he goes. So you get paid for your action. James Bond get paid for his action. Will you be disturbed why he spoiled? You spent 2 hours preparing this, and why someone spoiled? Will you be complaining? Will you be disturbed? Or will you just accept this and go home? You will go home just accepting this. Same here. Here, for the invisible player, this is a absolute film. It's a drama, it's a story, but it is also a film. And it has got a script. And you are performing your action. And someone has a part to drop it. That is the part also. And someone has a part to remain hungry. That is the part also. That is going on. And you got no reason to be anxious about it, complain about it, worried about it, because it's a film. The invisible player is not getting drawn in it. But if it is ego, I am the one who is preparing this. If you are at that level, if you are lost in the role, an invisible player is not conscious. It is gone. It is blacked out, invisible player, and you are completely ego-based. I am such a wonderful one who prepares this food. Then the Bhogi is the one who will be anxious because he was hoping that everyone will praise this food. That was his happiness, not the overall film, not the overall plot. That he is not interested. He's interested someone praises his action. And so, he will be getting disturbed. Let us see another scene, in the drama. You perform some action and everyone is praising it. Will you not take entitlement? Or is it possible at all not to take entitlement? You performed something, you get a Nobel Prize, and everyone is saying how amazing. You will not take entitlement. Yes, me, Nobel Prize. You did some invention and it is helping the human race in an amazing way. You will not take any entitlement. I did it. Is it realistic not to feel I did it?
We are well trained, aren't we, to say no. The thing is, if it's like you're in front of Bap Dada and he praises, or one of the daddies, that would be difficult, wouldn't it?
Yes. You get an idea how omnipresent ego is. In spite of knowing and knowledge, ego will go to any levels. It may not even be you, but your cousin gets a Nobel Prize. Ego will say, yes, my cousin. You will sort of talk about this. Everyone will know that your cousin got a Nobel Prize. You don't have to do the research. It's someone else's karma, and you will indulge in that also. So here you are understanding the game changes only if the invisible player is conscious. Then only. Otherwise, we can have theory. We can have the management kind of, what should be done, what should not be done, what you should feel. But ego is Bhogi. Ego will go to any level to get little. He may not be talking about this, but at least in the thoughts will go there to indulge. Any level. That film is serious for him. Every small things. So if the invisible player is conscious, it is such a high thing that in the drama there may be, it has happened, in physics department some years ago. One girl did the research, and her professor, he was not even agreeing with it. She worked night and day, in a 26-year-old, and that work got a Nobel Prize. What she did, but because she was undergraduate, or she was not a part of the staff, she did not get the Nobel Prize. Her professor got the Nobel Prize, who was not even agreeing with it. But for the Nobel Prize, he was ready for it. But she did not get. And to not to mind. I don't know how she felt during that time and what was her attitude, but to be absolutely happy about it, and to accept, to enjoy the drama. And that is, invisible player has to be conscious. And why invisible player can handle this? Because he knows his big prize. He knows the eternal prize, life with God, and as we saw yesterday, world of truth and world of love and blessings and bliss. So in the story, it is like the invisible player sees it as petty, cheap, just like children, some little another sticker, little shiny sticker, children are excited about it and may cry also if somebody it is not given. A child may cry if some other child is given, not me. It is like this, these stickers, big prizes and medals for the invisible player. And so another professor, he wants that sticker, give that sticker to him, shiny sticker. That's fine. And he is seeing it, his reality beyond. Then he is Yogi. Ordinarily, we are so caught in the drama. It is a constant Bhogi going on at different levels. We'll be coming to some experience, but let me hear some thoughts from you.
So just a couple of questions coming back to this idea of understanding a need. One question, is a basic need a desire? Can one have a desire but be aware that one doesn't need it, so can be carefree? Do we call that a desire still?
Yeah, we use the word desire, wish, these whole words, whatever the words, they are fine. But the question is the invisible player conscious? That is the question. If the invisible player understands that he doesn't need the drama in the first place, that is he is holding that space, that he doesn't need the drama, and very happy to play the part and get things. And what happens as a result? Things come, things go, things don't come. That is, he is in that space of peace, and he's in that space of fullness and not going up and down. So get prepared for everything. That's something that we read. Undisturbed by anything, because he's not slave. But if whatever word we use, wish or desire or desperation, but if it is coming from the lower consciousness, it matters. Small things that happen in the story matters. He won't say undisturbed by anything and prepared for anything. He won't say this.
Okay. If one doesn't need anything, why would one be on this earth?
Need, sure. It is not, we are not sent here as beggars. Beggar is not the only option for the human beings. We are players. A player comes, he plays, he enjoys the play, and thank you very much, the opportunity, and he goes back home. So same here. We come as noble angels and players.
Okay.
But I agree, in a present time, the life of the ego, and the ego is, as we said, hardwired for begging. It appears like that's the mission. that it is the life. And that's why it appears like that, without desires. What is life? Yeah, please go ahead.
There are some comments, but just trying to get the essence. But a little earlier, there was a question: to wish for or to seek understanding, development in spirituality, can this also be ego?
It can come from ego. We mentioned yesterday, our aim is to wake up. Let the invisible player wake up. And once the invisible player is awake, then he's not saying, I want to forever spiritual development. He is awake. But in our ego state, of all ego are constantly having some desires. Within that, if there is some ego that says, I want spiritual development, that is a better ego you have to catch hold of, because he will take you to the space where you become free from desire.
When the invisible traveler has the propensity to play and act, why would they not want or need the drama? You may have just answered it, but just if there's something you wanted to add.
Why wouldn't? There is no desperation. That space in which the invisible player is, he starts from fullness. It is not, I have to play, and that desperation energy, that is not there. If there is starting position is emptiness, that is what with ego. And so I have to do something. So there is a desperation of karma. And so he's Bhogi, karma Bhogi. We might see some players in at present time, and we are into the Iron Age, and they may be karma Bhogi. But one who is noble, he remains karma yogi. His player is happy to perform the best play, but also happy not to play, and gives chance to someone else to play. And that is noble.
And thank you. I hope that helps. You can clarify in the chat. Just the example of the girl whose research was the professor took the credit. What would you say, should she not mind and be okay about it?
In this case, it is not that professor manipulated something. It is the law of the Nobel Prize Committee that Nobel Prize can be given only to those who are not students, and so she was considered as a student, and the papers are published, and the first name goes, her name was there in the paper, but the first name goes of the tutor, one who supervised your research. So the professor's name was first and her name was later.
Even in that case, it's obviously the system, but should she be okay about it? I mean, would it not be understandable that would create a reaction?
Yeah, this is what the ordinary personalities are, but we are saying, what would be the reaction of a karma yogi? If someone is a yogi, how would that yogi react in that situation? For that yogi, he is full. He is a prince. It is as if someone gives prizes to others, and he is the one who is organizing the Nobel Prizes. He is not going to say, I need a prize, I need, why someone else is going. He remains beyond that, happy that someone is inspired. Same here also. And he is Nobel is the one who organized these Nobel Prizes. Invisible player is, is on another level. He even Nobel is just another, researcher, scientist. Whereas invisible player, we are talking about angel. His father, like a angel of Nobel. So that's why that inner fullness changes the perspective, and internally will be having zero thoughts, zero concern, zero anxiety about it.
Yes, very clear. And I hope that helps. Feel free to share in the chat.
It may appear unfair, but even at a drama level, if someone has that consciousness, that attitude, drama rewards you in a much bigger way, in its own time. Anyone with that kind of consciousness, and if you pass this kind of test comes, and if you pass it, then you are absolutely eligible for golden age. You will become master of heaven, bit like that. Not just a little prize for a few years, you become master of heaven. No one is, there is no unfairness in the scheme of things.
Don't know if you read the last note, but just before you said that, the comment was very unfair, but it's nice to see there is no unfairness when we see the big map, and taking a position against our own ego will be rewarded. We become free from that beggar. There is a question, a little similar, but if the soul is
say that these kind of situations can come to us, and make me come today or tomorrow or something like that. And but the big success is to go through these situations in a noble, with a noble consciousness, you have to pass. If you feel bitter, if you feel unhappy, if you are, then I have failed. The opportunity came and I failed. That opportunity comes, and if I pass, then there is a prize, big prize. And what this discussion about Karma Yogi, it helps us prepare for these kind of situations. So when the opportunities come, you pass. And you then are eligible for a much bigger reward. Like they say about some prophets, including Christ, they taken to cross. It is worse than this. No? You can say it is very unfair. He comes to help and he's taken to one cross, and he says, "Forgive them. They don't know what they are doing." If he can say something like that in that situation, what does it tell you? That he is at another level. He knows something more, and just to survive is not his, ultimate destination. But he knows something different, and that's why those words can come and those feelings can come. To forgive them. Then you pass, and then there is a reward for that. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, question. If the soul is so full with no desire, why does one come into this karma world and not stay in the home forever when there is such fullness and no desire to experience anything? Which is a bit similar to before, but
Yeah, we mentioned, but I will expand on this. No desire, is it is not that he is not interested. Players are those who are interested, but there is no me, my, that desperation factor, that is not there. And so very happy to be here, very happy to go back. It is that kind of attitude. In invisible souls, they are invisible travelers, they're also invisible players. And players need a home, and players also need a field. And so in the scheme of things, this is the perfect universe. Yesterday we used the word positive universe, as if everything is made so well, so beautifully, and it is good. The world is made well, and if there is a play field, that is good. This birth is good, and things come go. There's benefit in it. Let us see what comes next. This is the attitude of the invisible player. He doesn't come and say, "Oh, I want to this, why is it red? I want blue." No, blue, right now it is blue, they are nice colors. And then it changes, green comes, the green are also nice colors. That is his attitude. All along emphasizing, if the invisible player is conscious, we are not prescribing this, that this attitude should be imbibed by ego. Ego wants to say, I want to practice this. No, if the invisible player is conscious, these reactions will be natural. So the effort is at that level, getting the invisible player, making him conscious, and creating those seconds, minutes.
very helpful. Yes. More questions, if it's okay.
Yeah.
If we play the part of James Bond and then ruin things for others, could that still be yukti? Embodiment of the right method is the translation for yukti.
If it is agreed by the director and the producer, then it is right action. If it is not agreed by the director and the producer, then it is not right action. So here for us, Baba is the director. He gives Srimad, and he tells us what we should be doing from morning till night. Like recent Murlis also, you heard Baba is telling, how to get up and what thought you should have, what words you should speak when you wake up, to how you should go to bed. So directions are given. How, if we want to follow the director. So broad directions are given and specific directions are given. So if I follow the director, then you remain carefree.
Nice. Does the invisible player think what is happening to me today is a result of my actions?
No, because these actions are in the drama. There is a nice expression that gets used. Actions fall from him. The actions are performed. He's yogi. If he's a bhogi, then he thinks about the actions and he indulges in those actions. But whereas karma yogi, his thoughts are about his sky. That is what is most important for him. Actions are performed, they're gone. Tomorrow, next actions. There are some artists, and I think their background is monks. They make up wonderful art, and having done that art, they wipe it and they go. They don't wait there for people to praise it and buy it and put their signature on it. They perform the art, everyone enjoys the process of, and once it is all done, they wipe it and they go. For the yogi, it is like that. In the mind, it is clean. That was the day today, full stop.
Okay, that's helpful. I wonder if you'd like to clarify if that helps in the chat.
I think we also need some time to discuss in the rooms. You can give some questions to them to discuss in the room.
That's right. That's true. So maybe we can take this time to reflect together. Prashant, would you like to give a question to everyone else now?
How to remain karma yogi with what we are understanding now, what it means. With different action, in our world, action is, we are here to indulge in our actions. And so whilst all this is going on, how to remain karma yogi.
Yeah, nice. And when we are in that space, we enjoy. It's not tolerance. And so something to reflect on, and hope you enjoy the discussion, and just press the button, which I think is called help, if you need to change room because of language, or maybe room is a little silent. And we'll meet back in around 10 or 15 minutes, more like 15 minutes, and giving chance for everyone to share if possible. Enjoy. Thank you. Welcome back. And I hope that we didn't cut off any rich conversations, but you can always confirm or clarify or summarize in the chat. But let's take just a moment together for getting to the experience of the essence, and we'll continue. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And it's very nourishing to be in this atmosphere of everyone's effort in this. And what a radical positioning and some very practical examples that we're given about what it is and how it could be, this freedom from what is happening in the drama. And I think perhaps what is highlighted is the scale of potential bondages to the expectation of things being just or logical or predictable. And also, if we see the scale of that, it also shows there must be something which is liberated from all of that also. So this potential, at least we can see as a seed, to be able to be tuned into that perspective, which is not creating the slightest claim or right on what is happening. At least that option we can start to have the yoga with. And yes, really bringing this line close as to what is karma Bhogi, like the taking aspect, or the beggar, which is ultimately the victim. And so I think there's a lot that's probably come up, and it would be great to hear anything you'd like to share in essence, and also questions. We still have time. So handing back to Prashant.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm sure you enjoyed your discussions, and these are nice opportunity for us to express also and meet others. We learn sometimes more in a group dynamics and by speaking. So right now, let us create some opportunity for experience. Like that image we used yesterday, there is one personality. We called it ego personality, and the starting position of this personality is confusion. He's caught in a story. So right from the beginning, it is darkness of ignorance. And then it leads to cascade of other reactions. That is why he can get caught into injustice and desires and desperations, anger. He's in a story. What was meant as a joke is complaining and feeling suicidal, all because of the story. But starts with this entering into this confusion. There is no answer. In that confusion, there is no answer. Story has episodes and episodes come to an end. That's why the direction of that story is there is destruction and there is end and there is death. That is guaranteed, the destination. But all his life he's fighting this and happy to go to the lowest level, lowest condition of the soul. That a one step of ignorance takes him into the degradation. And we hear the word devil community, devil personality. Its seed is here. Seed is that ego personality. It can take one to the lowest level. If we hear any cases of behavior of personalities, people react in a certain way, do certain things, its origin is the same. Ego personality takes them to that level. It is this personality that is karma bhogi. That panic of the end and panic of death is the ultimate cause of this indulgent tendency. Somehow in his distorted logic, he thinks that will make him secure. The other option we have, option of the soul personality. This personality leads to the angel. And its roots are in light of knowledge, light of truth. It sees that region of immortality, understands his own truth, his immortality, understands his complete independence from the story. And that includes what happened this evening, this Zoom gathering. It is all within the story. Just like these images we see on the screen and they just disappear, same will happen to this larger drama. And this scene just disappear one day. This whole drama will disappear. And he's totally aware of it. He knows about the death and destruction, but the invisible soul is independent, free from it. Just that freedom from the story frees him from ego and vices and aspirations, frees him from sorrows. We are talking about 100% freedom. Free, which means zero vices, zero ego, zero desperations, and zero sorrow. What a swing. In one personality, this is the life. Day in and day out, this is all he can know. So knowledge, just as we hear the knowledge in Murli, the purpose of knowledge is this soul personality. Soul has to become conscious. He sees himself, that invisible player. This moment, we are seeing that invisible player who knows of his immortality and his world of eternity. Timeless, his world. His world is world of truth. This is not another story. He knows the story, but he lives in the world beyond the story, the real world. That's why story comes to an end, the real world continues forever. He is with the true family, family of souls. His life is with God. And in this region of light, where there is no ignorance, everyone is egoless and viceless and sorrowless. That changes the game completely. All are childlike and godlike. Harmless and innocent. They don't know about sorrow. They don't know about giving sorrow. They're harmless. But everyone is aware they are beyond harm. That's why the region, it is like a eternal Paristan, we call it. Golden Age Paristan is one. This is like a eternal Paristan. No one can have a higher quality of life than one who is conscious. No one can have a higher quality of life than the invisible player, because just the mind is the highest. And in that mind, life is of blessings and bliss, and life with God and worthiness to be loved by God. God loves, but when it is ego-based life, he doesn't feel worthy. He may talk about many things. He all the time promotes himself. Marketing is important for ego, but he doesn't feel worthy. The invisible player, one who is conscious, he feels worthy to be loved by God, to belong to God, to have company of God, worthy to know God. We are talking here about world of immortality, world with God, world that is a real world of truth. And we said it is a world of perfection. And the universe, when you are seeing from this truth, you are seeing that the universe is good. For instance, everyone is made to be happy. Everyone is made of love and contentment. And extraordinary performance, drama as a gift. Just the angle from which we see it, that makes a huge difference. We see it from the angle of the angel, everything is perfect. Everyone is good. Everything is good. But we have the option to see it from the angle of ego, from ignorance, and everything gets distorted. That option is also there. As we go through the rest of the evening, rest of the journey, we remember these options. We have the option of the highest consciousness. Just this awareness, being conscious, invisible player to be conscious. That is the only step. And then he doesn't need to do anything else. He becomes karma yogi. Shanti. Thank you. Happy to hear any comments from you, any questions.
just one, I can see there's a theme here about not needing to work on anything else. When the soul is conscious, then many things are natural. The soul doesn't need to be told. Would this be like one sign to see that when Maya tries to come, because Maya will interfere in what is significant and essence-ful in our effort. So when we start to observe that we think we need to work more on, say, at the word level or the actions level, or this kind of like greed that can come for more and more and more, even in spiritual points, it could be collecting points or in the habit of asking more questions, but not giving the self time to experience. Are these, do you have anything to say about how to observe when ego is and Maya is working? Because we see something is very clear. Maybe I've answered my own question, but if you have any comments.
I understand. Now the emphasis we are placing, first step, whenever you want to analyze, want to understand, first step we can take on for a while is let the invisible player be conscious. That is our, if you want to underline something in anyone, that is the thing to underline. Ego has no problem in me analyzing it and understanding this, reading this, no problem. As long as you come to the essence, the main thing, that is where the obstacle will come. So repeatedly, again, we will make this 30 times as your homework until we meet again. Every day, 30 times, on top of other things you do, just check, is the invisible player conscious? And bring him to the level of being conscious. And your litmus test for this being conscious, he sees his independence, complete independence from the story. You may get that experience maybe for 5 seconds, but full quality, complete independence from, let the invisible player come in his self-respect. It may last for an hour, but create these opportunities, checking. Also, those who read the Murli of today, there was one reference that we heard, practical fruit in the present. Baba was emphasizing in this whole effort, spiritual effort, is not something, this life is of effort and you will get fruit in the golden age. Versus, no, there is a present is very precious. There's a fruit in the present. And that's why we were saying no one can have a higher quality of life than the life of the one who is conscious. And that is in the present. Because he is connected to the eternal Paristan that exists forever, but just you are connected to this. And unconditional, what happened yesterday, you might have wasted time a minute ago, or but think about it. Now our whole game is, let us fly this moment. So that is the homework also.
This, I think you touched on yesterday as well, but what is the significance of the word karma in karma yoga or karma yogi? Why not call it drama yogi?
Yes, we were saying that these are bhakti words. the yoga and the karma yoga, these words exist in bhakti. We are using them. There is not a huge reason why the word karma yoga, why not dharma yoga. Such a drama yoga, such words don't exist in bhakti. That's why we are not using them either. Even the word yoga, these are words we are borrowing from tradition, but using them with our own meaning. But as we said, the emphasis is on yoga, emphasis is on becoming free and becoming free from Bhogi life. That is where the emphasis is.
If the karma yogi, when that is alive, it replaces karma bhogi in a way. But
Yeah.
the confusion or potential confusion, does the soul need to be in the drama to resolve karma? So is it that the attitude of being free is what is resolving the karma? Or would you like to say a bit more about how that works? The question is clear.
Yeah, sure. We have created a bondage, and we have to undo the bondage. And to undo the bondage, we need it can only be done in a conscious way. No one else can do it for us, and we cannot do it in the soul world or another region. No, here we have to undo it. The opportunity we are getting is to undo it with knowledge and wisdom, and maybe some level of endurance. We have to resist things, and it is better to do it this way than do it with pain. The only other option is we will have to undo it with pain otherwise. Like for instance, someone may have a habit of drinking coffee, and he knows it's a indulgence, Bhogi. And if he does nothing about this, he understands knowledge and all, but he says, oh, I cannot stop this. Then the definite way that he will be freed, soul will be freed from this, is with pain. And just one girl said to me, just the thought of coffee creates palpitations in her now. She can't drink coffee, but can't even think about coffee. With pain, everyone becomes free. Our success is to, why this knowledge and all this spiritual effort, to become free with knowledge and flying. You are happy, in a near spiritual, and then you become free from it. But if that flying is not happening, to go through that endurance, which means you say, okay, but I'm going to resist it. I'm not going to have it for one day, and go through that little suffering of not having coffee. That is better than pain and palpitations and headaches, and then becoming free. But as we bring that endurance, that takes us to the flying stage. So we operate between that sattva and rajo rather than tamo level.
Thank you. I think there's a lot to reflect on there, but the word endurance feels very empowering to remind ourselves that we have that, and we have Rajo as like the safety net, but Sato to aim for the refinement. Just a really quick clarifying question here. So we need the drama for this to undo the knots. Is that right? If we make bondage in the drama, we need the drama to come out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's clear. So yeah, we've come to time. If there's something you wanted to share to close, and then we will we'll be finishing with a drill for meditation.
Enjoy karma yoga, karma yogi life. Enjoy Christmas. Try and avoid the karma bhogi instances during Christmas. Make your friends karma yogi during Christmas.
Yeah, it can be a sweet time. I think it can be very silent, but just when we're in the midst of it, it'll be showing a nice contrast. But yes, to pull others into the yogi rather than being pulled into the bhogi. Thank you. So we will create some time now for some empowerment from Bhagdada.
Hey Raja, अपने मन मंत्री को सीखन में ऑर्डर कर अच्छा